Welcome to another episode of Out from the Horrorbox. I'm your cursed host, Dom, and in this episode we're going to take a look at the 2025 black comedy horror film from writer and director Osgood Perkins, the story of a cursed wind-up toy. This is The Monkey. Twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old wind-up toy monkey in the attic. A series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide they are cursed and throw the toy away. The pair move on with their lives, growing apart over the years, only for the menace to reappear. Let's wind up the key and see whose life ends up in a spectacular way next in The Monkey. Let's wind up the key and see whose life ends in a spectacular way in The Monkey. Frank Darabont first acquired the film rights to Stephen King's chilling short story The Monkey in the 2000s, intending to begin producing after completing The Mist, another King adaptation. Despite Darabont's successful track record with King's material, he did the Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile, along with The Mist, which all three films are amazing films on their own right, and I highly recommend even just The Mist, which is a great film, has a very dark ending. I highly recommend it. But his version of The Monkey never materialized. The project resurfaced dramatically in 2023 when Black Bear Pictures announced a new adaptation at the Cannes Film Market, shopping the package to distributors. The production assembled an impressive team. Oz Perkins, the director of The Black Coat's Daughter, signed on to write and direct, while horror maestro James Wan would produce. There's Atomic Monster banner. Theo James from The White Lotus fame was cast as Celine. The ensemble grew in March 2024 with the addition of Tatiana Maslany, Elijah Wood, and rising young actors Christian Convery, Colin O'Brien, and Rohan Campbell. Sarah Levy rounded out the cast, and principal photography took place in Vancouver from February 5th to March 2024. Perkins made several key changes to King's original story. The monkey's iconic symbols were replaced with drums due to the producer's concerns about potential copyright issues with Disney's Toy Story 3, the monkey and toy in that one. The tone shifted dramatically from pure horror to horror comedy. The adaptation expands the original short story's scope while maintaining its core premise. In interviews with Empire, Perkins explained his bold approach. I took liberties like a motherfucker. They had a very serious script. I felt it was too serious for a movie about a killer toy monkey. Drawing from personal tragedy, I honestly didn't know this. Both his parents died in highly publicized, unusual circumstances. Perkins sought to process grief through dark humor. Everyone dies, sometimes in their sleep, sometimes in insane ways. I thought maybe the best way to approach that insane notion is with a smile. The director emphasized the film's intentional lack of subtlety, using extreme gore and absurd death sequences to highlight life's randomness. This tonal blend delivers on distinguishing the monkey from other possessed toy, quote-unquote, horror films, like Child's Play, or, maybe like Dolls or Puppet Master or something like that. And I can see where he's going with this, wanting to make it feel very different from those, because at a certain point, Child's Play did get a little ridiculous, incorporating, I think, a little too much more humor. I mean, it was incorporating meta textual stuff into it at a certain point to fuel the humor, but at a point, it was funny being like a kind of a darker comedy rather than just being a meta comedy with horror. But whatever. that series ended up writing itself. But yeah, the monkey. Let's just get straight into the story.
Everything okay up there?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Oh, that's odd. I don't remember locking this.
You wouldn't happen to remember if my aunt had a wind-up toy monkey at the yard sale?
Oh, not a cherished childhood memory now, was it?
No, 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 no! The coroner said it was an accident, but it was no accident. It was a monkey. When I was a kid, my twin brother and I found something that loved to kill. I did everything I could to make it go the fuck away. But it had other plans. Hello, brother. Bill. The monkey that likes killing our family. It's back. It must be vanquished.
Why don't you vanquish it, huh, Bill?
Wait! We have been chosen to witness its power over life and death in its most devious ways.
It's a toy monkey?
It's evil. It's basically the devil.
Everybody dies. And that's life.
Oh, fuck.
In 1999, Petey Shelburne, played by Adam Scott, attempts to destroy a drumming toy monkey at an antique shop. Before he can act, the monkey plays its drum, triggering a chain reaction that ends with the shop owner being impaled by a harpoon gun. Petey disappears that same night, leaving his wife Lois, played by Tatiana Maslany, to raise their twin sons Hal and Bill. Both twins are played by Christian Convery. Years later, the boys discover the monkey in their father's belongings. When they wind it up, their babysitter Annie, played by Danica Dreyer, is decapitated that same evening. Hal, tired of Bill's bullying, winds it again, hoping his brother will die. But their mother Lois collapses from a sudden aneurysm instead. Guilt-ridden, Hal dismantles the monkey and they move to Maine to live with Aunt Ida and Uncle Chip, who are played by Sarah Levy and Osgood Perkins, respectively. When the reassembled monkey reappears, Bill winds up... When the reassembled monkey reappears, Bill winds it up deliberately, resulting in Chip being trampled by horses. The twins seal the monkey in its box and hurl it down a well. 25 years have passed since Hal has seen or heard from Bill. The twins are now both played by Theo James. Hal barely sees his son Petey. Jr., played by Colin O'Brien, whom he only visits once a year, terrified the curse might return. His ex-wife plans to cut him out of Petey's life completely by asking Hal to sign over his parental rights so her new husband can adopt Petey. Hal's ex-wife and her new husband are played by Laura Minnell and Elijah Wood, respectively. Aunt Ida, still at the rural house they moved to as kids, lives alone. One night, she dies in a suspicious accident, obviously due to the monkey. All of her things are being sold at a garage sale, and a local loser, Ricky, played by Rohan Campbell, picks up the toy to give to Bill. Bill calls Hal, convinced the monkey is back. Hal and Petey stop at a motel as they're on a trip to an amusement park. Hal calls Bill to discuss the monkey and realizes the truth that is back when a woman electrocutes in a motel pool, followed by real estate agent Barbara, who's played by Tess DeGenstein, being suddenly shredded by a falling shotgun. At Ida's house, they learn Bill has possessed the monkey all along, and he believes Hal intentionally killed their mother and has been waiting for revenge. Bill's twisted plan? He's been winding the monkey daily, believing the winder becomes immune. He gives Hal an ultimatum: let young Petey wind it, protecting him, or Bill will keep winding it until Hal dies, no matter how many townspeople perish in the process. Ricky, wanting the monkey back, forces Petey to retrieve the monkey at gunpoint. Bill has the boy wind it, killing Ricky via wasp swarm. In a final desperate act, Bill makes the monkey play without winding it. The unleashed curse devastates the entire town in a wave of horrific deaths. The brothers reconcile just before a Lois-branded bowling ball decapitates Bill. As Hal and Petey drive through the wreckage, a pale horseman passes by in silent acknowledgement. Accepting their cursed legacy, Hal suggests going dancing, their first real father-son moment in years. Now let's move on to some trivia about the film The Monkey and learn something about the behind the scenes, the production, and the actors. One of the characters is named Duchamp, like another protagonist from Stephen King's short stories. Obviously, the body that inspired Rob Reiner's movie Stand By Me. I think his name's Teddy Duchamp, right? That's the main. I think it's the main character. I think it's Will Wheaton's character. And I always love. That's what I love about Stephen King, is that he's able to throw in these little references here and there, and it always just comes back to oh yeah, hey, that's from this, that's from that, and they little things here and there you'll see again, because at the babysitter's funeral, it's revealed her name is Annie Wilkes. It's the same name as Kathy Bates' character from Misery. It was also written by Stephen King, who wrote the short story The Monkey. And I love that they do that where they tie in little things like that, where they put in little references here and there to other characters. He does that. The filmmakers do it a lot too. They'll throw things in there to just call back to other Stephen King stories or other things that we've seen from Stephen King here and there. They might throw in maybe Castle Rock a lot, gets thrown around, or Derry, or even mentions of oh, I knew a guy named Torrance or something, right? Or they'll have some character like that, and I always love that where it's just oh yeah, I love these little references that they always make to things like that, here and there it'll just pop up, and it's just, and Stephen King does it all the time, and like I said, because it's connected multiverse or whatever. So characters will just pop up every once in a while that are from other stories or other things, and it's just kind of just really crazy that happens a lot. In the Stephen King short story of The Monkey, many of the character names and towns' names are the same, but the events and tone are obviously much different. That story plays out very serious. Hal and Bill aren't twins, but younger and older brothers by several years. Hal is a married father of two, Dennis and Petey. Those are his kids. And then the death count is at least 10. Their dad, Merchant Mariner, who disappears. Mom, same cause. She has a brain aneurysm, and that's how she dies. Uncle Will, Aunt Ida, Johnny McCabe, Hal's friend. Beulah McCaffrey, That's the babysitter's name in the short. Charlie Silverman, Bill's friend. Junkman, a dog named Daisy, Ida's cat, plus many more according to the story, are all the ones that are dead. But those are like the confirmed, the 10 that we see in the in the short story. But I think I like the idea of changing it more to, like, it's obviously something a little bit more ridiculous, like the idea that like this monkey is cursed, like it's a toy monkey. You're telling me this toy monkey is cursed? Yes, this toy monkey's cursed. If you wind it up, the person who's winding it is immune, but everyone else can die. And it's basically like it chooses for you. You don't get to choose who gets to die. But yeah, no, I think changing the tone from being very serious, I think, kind of helps with it a little bit, especially when like he did this in such a great way. I think he really pulled it off and nailed it. Well, I'll get into when I get to my final thoughts, but there's just things that like changing them to twins, I think works a lot better. You know, just like I don't know, just changing things up, shifting it around a little bit. See, because I think sometimes like Stephen King's really good at short stories, right? Like I think that's what his like bread and butter is. That he like I love his like longer like novels, but I think sometimes like what happens is he starts getting like to a certain point where it's like, okay, I kind of need to wrap this up. And in a shorter story, it's like, okay, you get to that quicker, and so you're not having to think about all this other stuff that happens in like the novels, and you're like sitting there like, wait, what about this? And why are we doing that? Where it's like, okay, it quickly kind of pulls itself together, and I think that's what helps with this, especially, and it knowing that it's a like I think that the story too, like when knowing that it's ridiculous, like at the end with literally like the guy on the pale horse, the pale rider, like the like essentially death, like walking through the streets. Come on, that's like right on the nose. Yeah, I think making it like that, like changing the characters, tones, just works a lot better. From the very start of the film, people insist that the monkey is not or do not refer to it as a toy, and near the end, Bill refers to it as a toy, foreshadowing his death when he gets decapitated by a bowling ball, which has Lois's name, his mom's name, and that's the bowling ball that Hal like had over Bill's head, like wanting to just crush his head from the beginning of the film. And I think it's just like a great like circle back to like foreshadow of how he would die. And yeah, it's like the monkey knows like when you're calling it a toy, and he's just dumb for like it's the little things that always like backfire on them that I love, like that, like where it's like it kind of reminds me a bit about like or like in like Harry Potter, right? Like the whole thing is like it's because like Voldemort doesn't understand this or doesn't understand that, and so there's like his plan is flawed because like he doesn't realize that this person actually loves someone else and has feelings, and the one thing that Voldemort doesn't have. And I know I'm veering off into something completely different, but it's like this, where it's like he completely forgets that, like, because he is so intent on getting revenge that Bill, that he forgets that, like, the one thing you shouldn't do with the monkey is call it a toy, and that's what causes him to die. So let's move on to the kill counter. Kill Counter. We've arrived at the kill counter. This is the part of the podcast where we go through the kills and deaths in the film The Monkey. By the time the film ends, we have about 27 confirmed deaths in the film. At the start of the film, we have Hal's dad, Petey, taking the monkey to a pawn shop. The unnamed pawn shop owner turns the key on the monkey, causing a harpoon gun to go off and shoots the shop owner through the stomach. And the retracting harpoon pulls out one of his intestines, killing him. Later, after the kids have grown up a bit, Annie Wilkes, their babysitter, Hal and Bill's babysitter, is accidentally decapitated by an unnamed chef with a spatula. Their mom, Lois Shelburne, is killed by a surprise brain aneurysm after Hal turns the key to try and get the monkey to kill Bill. The pair are taken to live with their aunt and uncle. Bill turns the key, and Uncle Chip Zimmer gets brutally trampled to death by a stampede. As time passes and the boys have grown up, we find out Bill got the monkey back and is using it. Aunt Ida Zimmer is impaled through the face by a signpost after her head was set on fire by her stove when she put rubbing alcohol on her face due to falling face first into a box of fish hooks. It's like a lot of unnecessary, although it's hilarious. It's like a pretty gruesome way to die. Bill calls Hal to tell him about Aunt Ida at the motel Hal and Petey are staying at. An unnamed woman explodes into pieces after diving into the electrified pool. It becomes electrified when the water from the pool, I don't know, I guess when the monkey plays its little drum, causes a short circuit from a power line or something. Next, we have 3 kills in a row. Mitchell McDonald, whose torso shredded by a lawnmower. Burt Burgessson, face is melted by steam of an espresso machine. And an unnamed golfer is bitten through the throat by a cobra. Hal goes to Aunt Ida's house and meets Barbara, the real estate agent. She's blown apart into pieces by a falling shotgun. Dwayne suffocates after stepping on a rake, which knocks his vape into his mouth and sideways into his throat. At the end of the film, Ricky has Hal and Petey hostage and requests Petey go to get the monkey from Bill. Bill has Petey turn the key, and this causes Ricky to have his lower jaw slopped off after having a beehive full of wasps fly into his mouth and rearrange the internal structure of his head. Bill uses the monkey to start killing people off, like 2 unnamed people who fall to their deaths from an airplane, and another woman, unnamed woman, is hanged by her parachute. And as Hal and Petey drive away, and then Bill, once he starts calling the monkey a toy, it decides that, you know what, I'm going to get rid of Bill as well. And that's when the bowling ball rolls and bam, just smashes and destroys his head right in front of, it just demolishes his head. It's just completely gone. Right in front of Hal and Petey. And then Hal and Petey drive away. And as they're driving away, they see a bus with 10 unnamed cheerleaders, and they get their heads decapitated by a moving truck that passes by them. And that's essentially the ending of the movie. So let's move on to my final thoughts on the film. Okay, so The Monkey. It's a short story by Stephen King that came out in, I think, Skeleton Crew. I'm not sure exactly which one. I'm pretty sure it's that one. this is Oz Perkins after coming off of last year's Long Legs, which is my favorite horror film from last year. It was so good. It stuck with me all the way through till now. And I was so excited to see that one. And I heard that he was doing this one. And I was like, so fast, such a quick turnaround from, doing this, doing Long Legs. And then now you're doing The Monkey in the next year. And it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of a comedy than what was like more of a straight horror with Long Legs. But it still was like gruesome. It's still, I don't want to say over the top, but it's like they have a lot of big kills in this. A lot of great kills, honestly. I think and unique ones, like with the girl jumping in the pool and she just explodes. The shotgun coming down and just blowing, like, and this poor guy, like he's lived his whole life like worrying that this is gonna come back, and I mean, to be honest, like he worries for a really good reason, because like obviously like his son could have died at any point, right? But I think he worried a little bit too much, but whatever. I think Theo James does a good job. The kid actors, they all do. Well, obviously it's just one as the twin, and then playing Petey. I think they all do great jobs. I mean, they're not really child actors, but they're younger actors, I guess. I don't know how. I mean, are they? I think they are child actors. Whatever. They do good jobs. I mean, Tatiana Maslany. Oh my God, I wish she was in more things. I love her so much. Seeing her in She-Hulk. And then in this, I'm like, man, I want her to be in everything. But she does a great job. I love her character. I love her as the mom. Is very like straightforward with them. Doesn't like hide anything. Doesn't really like keep things from them. She tells them like, someday you guys are gonna die. Someday I'm gonna die. Someday we're all gonna be dead. And it's just kind of whoa. Rip that Band-Aid off. Adam Scott and the little part that he has at the beginning is pretty funny. And I think Rohan Campbell does a pretty good job as Ricky. That character really stood out. I really liked that one. I think just like the monkey itself, the design for the monkey is creepy, but still kind of like cute at the same time. Like you still want to like turn the key on the back to see him play his little drum. And like I said, yeah, like the kills are pretty good. It's a pretty good, like solid, like shorter movie. It's not too long. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It doesn't need to do anything more than just be kind of hilarious and like kind of gruesome at the same time. And it works as just like a good like follow up to like Long Legs. And then what I loved at the very end, if you stood through the all the way through, you got a teaser for his next film. I think it's called I don't remember what his next, but it's like, dang, this guy is like, he's really good at getting movies like done like that. Like he's gonna have another film come out this year. I'm so excited to see that one too. Honestly, I think Oz Perkins is a pretty good director. I think he's highly. I think there's a lot of people who, might disagree, especially online. They didn't really like Long Legs, but I think we can all agree, for the most part, that The Blackcoat's Daughter was really good. I should do that on here too. That's a really good film. I highly recommend it if you're really getting into Oz Perkins' films. Go back and watch Blackcoat's Daughter. That one's good. Yeah, like I think it was hilarious. He changed the tone of the original short story and he made it into something more, I think, more palatable, especially when it's like he could have gone so serious with it, and it's like it's the monkey's the problem and everything. But the fact that like he he turned it into a comedy, and like we know it's a lot funnier than like, and you know, it's like it's not a serious concept. Like this toy monkey is killing people. A toy monkey, come on. And I love that they changed it a little bit. Not even a little bit. They changed the tone to make it, I think, more palatable. Because I think if you would have left it as something more serious, people would have been like, "Oh, what? Oh, this is I did not have a good time because it was just too insisting on itself." And it's like, come on. But yeah, I really love this movie. I thought it was really good. I think it's a good follow up to Longlegs, and it's a good way for Oz Perkins to show like he can do something a little bit more funny. He can do other than just do something a little bit more serious. He can take things and make things and adapt things, even if the tone is a little different. Highly recommend watching it if you're listening to this and you're. I don't know who does this. What kind of sadist does this? They listen to a review first before they see it. But I give it 4 stars, so I really highly recommend it. I don't know if it's in theaters still at the time of this recording, but if it's probably not. But it'll probably be on streaming soon. If it's on there, watch it. It's one that I think I'm gonna watch again once it comes on. It's available to watch again. But yeah, that's it. I love this movie. I think it was a good start for the year because it did come out like, when did it come out? February, I think. I don't remember, but it was a good, like, wow, like we're starting this year off pretty strong on a good note. So hopefully the rest of the year, you know, we get some pretty good ones. Did the monkey make you laugh? Did you like the kills? Would you use the monkey itself? I think I might. Let's see if it kills someone bad. We want to thank you all for listening, and if you like what you hear, please subscribe to get every new episode downloaded. Do you have any personal or fictional paranormal, supernatural, or unexplainable stories? We'd love to read them on the podcast. Please send your stories, recommendations, or anything else to horrorboxpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to show more support, you can follow our socials on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, or check out our YouTube channel, all at Horrorbox Podcast on all sites. Also, you can buy me a coffee at coffee.com/horrorboxpodcast. It really helps out. Until next time, if someone tells you an object's cursed, you should probably believe them. This is Dom, signing off from the Horrorbox.
Things have been a bit messy around here. Yeah, your aunt, of course, was Monday. And then, oh Lord, first thing Tuesday, it was Mitch McDonald. And then Wednesday was Bert Bergerson. And then Nancy Rizzoli.
But there aren't any cobras in Maine, I mean, are there?
Well, there was the one.